So my name's Nate. I work with LEADR, and I help real estate professionals generate hundreds of thousands of dollars a year through TEDx funnels. So obviously I'm a little biased, but I think the quickest way to go from no exposure to the worldwide stage is through having a viral TED Talk. Not just for the TED Talk itself, but because then you can leverage that for paid speaking, you can leverage that for book deals, you can leverage that for social media. There's so many ways that you can go from complete obscurity to the worldwide stage relatively quickly if you know what you're doing. Traditional credentials, I don't think so. I know a ton of entrepreneurs that have, $50 million, $100 million companies in their 20s and 30s that did not graduate college. I think that was traditional credentials were very, very important until the age of the internet, where your credentials are, what have you accomplished? What international best-selling books have you published? What stages have you spoken on? How much real estate do you own? I think those credentials matter a lot more than they used to. Yeah, I think a lot of people fall in the trap of getting a CPA license. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they're getting licenses and credentials that don't actually translate into revenue for their business. And so I would say one thing to learn is focus on the things that actually matter. And for panel speakers and for platform speakers, like, speak in a way that makes it really easy for the people who you're speaking to hire you, give you capital for your real estate deals. If you make it really, really easy for people to work with you, they probably will. There's a couple things to that. I think the art of going viral is more straightforward than people realize, especially for TEDx talks. You need a title that's simple, bold, and useful. You need something that's actually valuable. And then you need a clear way to get hundreds of thousands of people to it quickly. And as long as you can go viral, then you've got the exposure. And once you have the exposure, then you get to decide how you're gonna leverage that. Once again, are you gonna leverage that for more paid speaking to raise capital for real estate? Are you gonna leverage that like Simon Sinek, Mel Robbins, Brene Brown? They leverage that for their book deals. There's so many different ways to leverage it. If you're intentional with that, the TED Talk's gonna be very valuable for you. But if you just show up and do a TED Talk and walk home, it's gonna do virtually nothing for you. So here's the way that I do it. So you do one TEDx talk, you make sure that it goes viral, and then you leverage it to speak at conferences like INM. I just spoke at Limitless, I just spoke at RAL. I have friends that raise tens of millions of dollars at conferences like these as speakers. They got there because they have best-selling books, they have viral TED Talks, they have viral social media. So when you leverage that, that right there is a ton of capital, right? We already talked about this, but a lot of people leverage their TED Talks to get book deals. And then obviously social media, it's a way to boost your clout online and then generate leads through social media funnels. So I've learned this the hard way. I've probably done 90 to 95 keynotes at real estate conferences. The shorter the talk, the better. So when I started, I would do 45-minute keynotes. If you can back that down to like a tight 20, 25 minutes, throw a QR code up on the screen and let them make it easy for them to reach out to you and work with you on the back end. Those are the events where I generate hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue and potentially profit. So make it as concise and as valuable as possible. YouTube advertising, Facebook advertising, you can split your talk up into lots of different clips. We see this all the time on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. One 20-minute video can turn into 50 different clips that you can post. And so it makes it seem like you're speaking more than you actually are. Like if you do one or two keynotes, then you split that up into 100 clips and post one every couple days, it gives the appearance that you're talking every weekend when you did 2 or 3 talks. Well, I think non-traditional assets are really big right now. We'll see how it plays out. I don't have time travel, but I personally have gotten out of the traditional multifamily real estates and doing non-traditional assets, whether that's oil and gas wells, self-storage, first position debt funds. There are some creative ways to still get the same IRRs we used to 5-10 years ago that aren't just buying an apartment complex. So we'll see. I could be totally wrong, but that's how I'm investing myself, and a lot of my friends are doing something similar.